Hi guys, we're here with LiveFoodDetox, speaking with Gary again and myself. We have lots to talk about today, and as I had told you, we are doing enemas for one. Yay! You know we're all excited about that, right? Yes. So much stuff about this. Just so exciting. So, welcome, Gary.
Well, thank you, Angie. It's nice to have you introducing the show. It's quite a step for you, I know, and I appreciate you doing it.
No problem. So, we want to start off right away hitting the big hammer on the enemas, or we want to gently
Wow,
work into it?
big hammer on the enemas. That's a
Big hammer.
that's a odd way to put it. But anyway, yeah, why not? Why not? We'll start right off with that. I mean, a lot of people have said, can you cover that, or is it too sensitive a subject, or nothing's too sensitive for Angie and I.
Nope, nope, not at all.
We're
No.
not afraid.
Real- It's all real and raw, baby. Real
That's
and
right,
raw
real
here.
and raw.
So, yes, enemas. All right, guys. So, I just want to start it off with letting you guys know that um, Gary and I both push limits, and we do it for reasons, or at least I know that I do it to show you guys that this can be done, or this is what happens for me, and just to give you a perspective that we're not just talking about this stuff and it's not out on left field. We live this stuff. I've been deep and in the trenches. So I've been there, I've done it, I've come back from things. And so this has just been a step for me in the direction of helping me. And I know it's not going to be for everyone. And as often as you do it is going to be up to you. You really do need to listen to your body. That's what all of this is about. It's not what is working for one person or the next. You really have to listen. And if you start something and you realize it's tanking you, don't do it. That's what it's all about. So I do have the enema here to show you what it looks like. It's really pretty simple. I
Very
have the
simple.
bag. What's that?
It's very simple.
It is very simple. I have the bag, and this is what it looks like here. And it's got a little hook here. You put the water in through here, or whatever you're putting in. And I have attempted with many different things. Luis, our good buddy Luis, has helped me kind of navigate that per se. So I would say just start with water. Um, but yes, you would just fill this up, or you can do you can get the buckets, which I think is more highly recommended because you don't have to worry about getting heating up the plastic. I just haven't gotten that far yet. So,
Uh,
um,
how what's the temperature of the water going in?
um, well, I've had warm and cool go in, so I don't. I mean, as long as it's not like hot, you don't want to burn yourself, obviously. So just lukewarm is good. You want it to be just to feel comfortable, obviously going in. Um, and then this is the tubing. So, yay! This screws into here.
Okay, so the other end's the working end.
What's that? Yeah, the other is the working end. So you screw it into here.
No hammers involved.
No hammers. Nope, not here. Not yet. We'll talk about that next time,
All
maybe.
right.
So then you hang this
Mhm.
on your wherever on your. I hang it on my shower rod or whatever, and then you know where this part goes. Typically coconut oil and slip her in, and then you've got this little nozzle here, and this obviously allows the flow to go slow or fast or to completely stop it. But when you first start out, I know when I did, it's hard to know what the heck you're doing. But you just want to get in the tub. Typically, they say lay on your left side. I've done all ways. I've done left side, I've done right side, I've done where I rotate after a few minutes. I go from my left, I rotate after a few minutes onto my back, whatever. You know what I mean. Where as you do a complete cycle. So holding it as long as you can, working up to, I do 20 minutes. I think that allows the liver to cycle, I'm not going to remember how many times, but it cycles through, I think at least 3 times. But if you can't hold it, do what you can. It's not going to be very clean the first time for sure. But I usually just put down a towel in the tub, and then when you feel like you really cannot do it any longer, get to the toilet and let go. So that is pretty much the gist of doing an enema. Yeah, it's really pretty simple.
So after you do the water, like say the first time you do water,
yep,
and just kind of get used to it and stuff, or at least figure out what you're doing. What are some of the other things that you can do that you can put in there that will help cleanse the colon?
The things that I've used have been garlic to help the little critters out, get them moving. So I put that in there. I put in baking soda. That also helps to pull. I've used Dr. Morse's herbs and tinctures as well, like the parasite M and G when I've had them, and the lymph tinctures as well. Those seem to be pretty powerful to move stuff out. Slippery elm, I have that here. This is what's one I was talking about, and it doesn't have to be this specific brand, but that's slippery elm. And I just had put in like 2 capsules in an enema. Also, if you do get cramping later on in the day, which has happened for me, I just take a couple of them, and that typically takes care of it. I think lemon is also something you can do. I haven't specifically done that myself, but again, I don't want to have people just going and mixing stuff and doing it. Like, I specifically have been in contact and having Louise help me as far as that goes as well. So,
what about essential oils or anything like that? No,
I've not done any essential oils with an enema. I would not, I guess, recommend it, since I have no idea how that would work.
Right. Yeah, we can't recommend stuff we haven't done.
Right. But I guess I'm actually glad that you brought the oils up, because I did want to touch on oils and taking them internally and topically, because if you've got kidney issues, I've noticed just personally for myself, if they're not filtering well, I don't think it's a great idea to be ingesting them. But diffusing them, great. But I think the body it takes a lot. They're strong, they're potent if you're getting the pure ones. So that's one thing I know, where I had a gallon, and I think she was doing like 5 drops in a jar of water. And I look at that and go, that's just, in my opinion, I wouldn't do it, especially if you have any major stomach issues, ulcers, kidneys not functioning well, your elimination isn't great. That's just my personal opinion, and kind of just what I've gone through with using oils and kind of seeing for myself how it goes.
Is everybody different as far as like the amount of liquid they let inside? I mean, it doesn't go all the way up in the colon, does it? It doesn't go all the way up in. It's like the bottom something, bottom third.
2 quarts is what they do recommend. Mine is just a 1.75, and for me, that's been enough. I probably could do 2, but I haven't attempted it. I seem to do fine with the 1.75. I think with the first one, you might want to start out just with maybe 1, like the first time or 2 that you do it. And you may not be able to hold very long either with the first 1 or 2 times you do it. So take it easy. But
yeah, the whole thing is just to listen to your body. And when it's ready, it's coming out, whether you're ready or not.
Yes, it is.
And,
yes, it is.
So, have you gotten out any parasites or anything like that with the,
oh my god.
with the enemas? Or?
Definitely. Some pretty pictures that I have. Oh, heck yes. I've gotten lots and lots of parasites, mucoid plaque locked in the bowel. Yeah, It's not pretty, but I sure am glad when they're out and done. It's amazing how much better I feel after I've done them, and I think others out there can say that too. They know just once you get that stuff out, you feel just better overall. And I know that there's been a guy on YouTube who talks about these and how they're, he gives them to people when they're cranky and says, get in the bathroom and don't come out until you're happy. Yeah, pretty much the case. it really is. So, yeah.
How do you feel full? Or do you feel anything when you have like 1 or 2 quarts of liquid
Yeah,
inside you?
there's definitely,
Somebody asked that.
as it's going in, there can be cramping. And then in trying to hold it sometimes, yes, as it starts to cycle, you can get these urges to where you gotta go, but you just gotta resist and then that urge goes away. But yes, there can be some cramping. That's normal.
Okay. Uh, One of the things that happened, like when I was a child, because my mother and like everybody in the neighborhood did enemas, and that was common practice because that's what
Right.
everybody learned as they were growing up, right?
Right.
And then X-Lax came out, and everybody stopped doing enemas. And what happened from that was dis-ease in the body started to skyrocket. And all kinds of complications came from that because they were not cleaning the colon.
Right.
They were actually, what X-Lax would do was just liquefy stuff and it would just slip by and it would leave a lot of stuff behind. And that's when it took about 3 or 4 years, but people started getting buildup in their colon and they started getting sick because the nutrients were not getting through and the digestive system would get messed up. So it's really, really, really important to do enemas. And if you don't want to do enemas on your own, you can have colonics. And they have
Yes.
open irrigation and they have closed irrigation. And what that means is, one, you're sitting there and when you go into it's just like an open vat. And the other one, the water is sent in, and then it pulls it back out, or it allows it to drain back out, and it goes through a tube, and there's a viewing tube, and you watch the stuff go by. And
Wow.
I heard one woman, masses of parasites were going through.
Oh,
Big clumps of parasites were going through.
gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
So
is gross. But it's real.
yes, yeah.
That's what
And
it's
she
called.
said, "I don't have any parasites, so don't worry about it."
Right.
We all have them.
Yep.
We all have them, and they are stealing our energy. They live on low vibrational dead food, and they like a low vibrational body. So as we raise our vibration with live liquids and live foods, that doesn't mean that you can't have that other food. I'm just saying, as you increase the liquids and the live foods in your daily diet, your vibration of your body, your energy rises. And as it does, it's like, we were just talking about this earlier, for those that do not like rap, or whatever music it is you don't like, and you're stuck in a building, and the volume is up, and you can't change the music or turn the volume down, you're going to do one thing, and that's leave. And that's what every parasite in your body either wants to do or is going to do, is they're going to leave because the vibration is driving them crazy.
Yep.
Okay? And as long as you're eating dead food, they're your craving.
Exactly. I was just going to say, yep, that's where our cravings come from.
Yeah,
You wanna know
Lewis
too?
just posted a thing this morning about how your taste for food will change. As they start to leave, everything will start to change because they're hooked to your nervous system, goes to your brain, and they're the ones that it goes to your taste buds too.
Right.
So as they leave, your taste buds, your cravings from everything, it all changes. They are that powerful.
They are extremely powerful.
Yes.
Yep.
And they are the most powerful on a full moon. And you
Yes.
think about how many people are doing crazy things on a full moon, and they're actually connected to your nervous system, and I mean, they're like wild. So they're the weakest uh, on a new moon. They're the most
That's
powerful on a full moon, and they're the
mm,
weakest on a new moon.
yeah.
So that's a
So
good time to go after them.
yeah. On that note too, this is the GI broom, which I was just going to show here. One of Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Morris's herbs that helps with pulling out the junk that's locked in, which I've definitely had results with that too. Even before I started enemas, I was doing the GI broom and I could actually feel it, like almost like a hand twisting and pulling stuff out. It's really kind of weird, but you see it. So
Now, is that uh, a tea like? Is that for tea or is that a pill?
this one, actually, I do have both the tea and
The
um,
capsule?
this is actually a powder. You can see it here.
Oh, okay.
It's powder form here. I put it in veggie caps if I just because it doesn't taste as bad, but if I feel like just putting it in any putting some apple juice in with it, just some apples that I juice, you can take it that way. So either way, but they also do have the heal or the I'm sorry, I was wrong. I was talking about the heal all tea, or that's what I was thinking. That comes in a pill and a tea form. The GI broom comes in just the capsules and the powder. So
So how much do you put in, like in a regular use like a regular glass and
yeah, this will tell you it recommends. I think. Well, this says mix one rounded teaspoon is what it says. But
okay?
I'll check in with Luis on how much, and he will typically. I'm taking more than that now, so he kind of just monitors that with me. So
Yeah, and feel your body.
right, right.
You know.
Um, I know the other thing too we wanted to talk about was retaining fluid and how to get rid of that when you have trouble with foods.
Yeah, because there's some people that are having a hard time with the master cleanse or the apple cider vinegar. So I would go to you. You got to have liquids. I'd either be drinking straight water, which I'm personally not a big fan of, because
Right.
when you're low on minerals, I don't feel water is really. It's not doing what you need done because there's no minerals in it, and you need minerals, and that's why the master cleanse and the apple cider vinegar, coconut water if they can have coconut water, but you need something. Watermelon will really start pulling water out of your system.
What about though, Gary? What about if you don't have very good kidney elimination filtering, and you have issues with other foods that will slow down detox, like sweet potatoes and bananas? What can
Well,
those people
you got to
be?
go with. You have to go with high liquid foods, and that's like watermelon. Maybe do a high liquid green smoothie instead of having it thick. Have it real watery. Use cucumbers and an apple, and those are all astringents that are going to be pulling out. But half the reason that you are having the water retention is diluting the toxins to protect your body. And that's what's going on when you get water retention. So, alkaline, the herbs, the turmeric would be really good for that. Half the things about water retention is it's acidic. Your body is acidic, and it's actually trying to dilute the toxins to keep them from burning your cells. And during the Mincy cycles, women typically get bloated. Well, what they're doing is they're getting ready to get rid of toxins in their body, and that egg is not good anymore, and it has to get it out of there. Those are toxic. All that stuff is all toxic, and it's dumping that. And then after you kind of reduce again, and that's what's happening. That's building up in your body, so you're getting all this water retention. and it's protecting you. So when your body's doing that, know that you're highly acidic. It doesn't matter if it's during a mincy or it doesn't matter. When you're retaining water, your body is highly acidic at that point, and it needs to be alkalized. And the best way to do that is liquids and herbs. And if you can't do the master cleanse or you can't do apple cider vinegar, then I would go to teas like cleavers. I mean, it's great for just draining your lymphatic system because all that water is in your lymphatic system and it needs to be dumped. And as far as like weak kidneys go, your kidneys will get a boost from the herbs, but you have really no choice but to alkalize your body and get that out. And your kidneys, it may put a little stress on them or a little strain on them, but you have no choice. You have to get that out of you. And I don't care where you go. We're the only ones that really talk about that. You go to a doctor, they're going to give you something that just makes you go to the bathroom, and you know, they don't really check for that stuff.
They don't even know that your blood pressure, your lower number is your kidneys.
Right. And the higher number is your adrenals. And they sit on top of each other. And they also only take your blood pressure in one arm. But if you take it in the other arm, it's going to be different. Because most people, I'd say 99.999%, one side of their body is filtering better than the other side. Which is another thing I wanted to bring up. Just so people know that your body's split in half. And it's the duality of the world. It's split right down the middle. And we have two, basically, of everything. Except for digestion, you have an inlet and an outlet. That's it. Other than that, we have two of everything. Well, except the belly button.
Right. So, yeah, I know we tacked on that one last time too, didn't we?
So there's always going to be somebody out there that goes, "Hey, what about the belly button?"
Of course. But on that foot of the kidneys, this is one thing that can be helpful to help support them. I know you're not a big supplement person, and I'm not either. But these are herbs. This is a kidney or a glandular, excuse me. And that's something that has helped me. I've had to be on it consistently because mine have been way too weak. That's also why I sent you that picture of what my face looked like this morning, which I've showed people before. But I mean, I've been pushing a lot with astringent fruits and doing a lot with, like I said, I started on the enemas again. I needed to stop. But realizing that these astringent fruits are pulling stuff, they're pushing. And if we don't have those kidneys supported, then it has to go somewhere, and it's going to the skin. So I just wanted to get that part in there as well.
Yes, I mean, and that is the one thing. There's a dance there. There's a dance between how much your kidneys can handle, and how much it's going to try to push it out of the skin.
Yep. It's not a fun dance. I don't like this dance, Gary.
No, it isn't.
Not a fun one. No. But again, trying to listen to the body and realizing which foods do what, and which ones can slow it down and which ones can speed it up.
So one of the things that I found is, and one of the reasons I don't like supplements is they extract things. So it's not a complete thing. You can't take vitamin C out of an orange and expect that vitamin C to do for your body what it would do if you ate the orange.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm not, and usually they alter it by one little thing, and so that means it's not going to go into your body the same way. But it's not hydrated.
No.
Okay, and I know there are people that don't like the tea. I mean, that's basically all I drink is tea. So when you put burdock root or a figwort or violet leaves or red root or red clover or cleavers or there's so many of them. These are all lymphatic herbs. And some of them will shrink tumors. And so they're astringents, and they're going to start pulling and flushing out while they're supporting the kidneys, while they're building.
Yes.
But you can do detox baths. That will help pull stuff out through the skin.
Yes.
You can go to a sauna. I know that it's deep tissue that this is happening in, but you can sweat 5 to 10 pounds of water out of your body in a sauna.
You just have to be careful to keep being hydrated, and if you're already weak,
Right.
some people can't handle that.
Yeah, you can't go in without your own liquids. You have to take liquids with you. And it's good to take live liquids with you.
Right.
And if it gets too hot, open the door or go outside for a minute and then go back in. But you got to get that water out of you, and that is one way to do it: is saunas, detox baths. But you got to have astringent, high water, like watermelon, oranges, lemons, cucumbers. You have to have those type of things to help your body flush that stuff out. You know, if you go to the hospital, they're going to give you a pill. It's going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay? They do actually have astringents at the hospital. They do not like using them. They like suppressing. And they would probably give you a suppressant to make all that fluid dry up.
Right.
But where does it go? It gets locked into the tissue.
Yeah.
And then you have to deal with it later.
Yeah, that's when you end up where we are, dealing with that in mass amounts,
Yes.
mass quantities.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So getting your kidneys active, getting them eliminating, making sure there's lymphatic waste in your urine, that's really key. And when your urine doesn't have lymphatic waste in it, your body does not feel well.
No, definitely doesn't. Do you want to touch on ulcers and the cellulite issues?
Let's take cellulite issues for $10.
Awesome.
So, cellulite, interesting. It's a buildup. Now, some people believe these are live colonies. Because nothing can exist in your body that isn't alive.
Oh, that's just bizarre.
Okay? So when you think about that, if you have something dead in your body will reject it.
Interesting.
Okay? So in order for it to stay there, it has to be alive. Okay? And that's what yeast, mold, fungus, parasites, they're all alive. So it's a theory at this point. But when you think about cellulite, okay, and you start detoxing, it can actually get worse.
Yeah.
It isn't actually getting worse. What it's doing is, cellulite is hard. And there is liquid around the outside of it, trying to contain the toxins. And as you detox, that loosens that all up. And it starts to flow, go into the tissues, into the lymphatic, and gets drained out through the kidneys. And the soft part of it, that's making it look a little bit flat, is starting to drain first because it's the softest part. So the skin is actually getting closer. The skin is actually getting closer, and the bumps are looking bigger, but they're not bigger. They're actually smaller, but much more visible.
Right.
And as you cleanse and as you move, that movement that we do, that will continue to erode at that until it all gets washed away. And detoxing, the detox baths, the saunas, that'll all help with that. Because that's what you're trying to do. As we get toxic, our body gets tight and stiff. And as we detox, it's going in, and that's why the disruption, it's going into that tissue, pulling that toxin out and softening it up. Okay? And as it softens up, it's putting a lot of stress on the body to pull that out and get it and flush it. Same thing with the enemas or the GI broom or whatever we're doing to try to get our digestive system in order. There's going to be some turmoil there.
Right.
And if it gets too intense, you have to slow it down. That's
Right.
the whole secret to this whole thing.
Well, I know when, back when that was starting to happen for me, and of course, you know, as females, we start to freak out because we can't work out in this state as it is, and then to see all of that, it's like, what is going on? And I know when I first messaged you on that, it didn't, I mean, didn't make sense, but it definitely makes sense, and it's interesting to see as I cycle and as things, you know, as I have felt better and seeing it dissipate, and then going through bouts of pushing harder and watching it, you know, get more, but understanding that now that that's what's going on. So, you know, I know for the women out there that, you know, start to freak out, it's okay. You know, it's better. It's healing your body. It's getting you where you need to be. It's just not a fun process.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not for guys either.
Right. No.
You know? And I don't know if between male and female, if the cellulite is thicker and denser on the male than it is the female, it's probably the exact same thing. I don't know. But I know.
Interesting to find out.
But I do know this. It builds, it hangs out, and it's really tough to get rid of. But it's not impossible to get rid of.
Yeah.
So movement and live liquids, patience, understanding that the outside area, because there's times when your skin looks nice and flat.
Yep.
Well, that's that soft tissue on the outside, and it's going over the more dense areas, which is lumpy. So as you get rid of that soft part, it starts to shrink in, and then more of it shows.
Yeah.
And it's just part of the process. I mean, we spent a lot of time building that up, and it's going to take quite a while to get rid of it.
Yep, that's just it.
And there's no real creams, or it's an inside job. It was created from the inside, and it has to be deleted from the inside. Same with tumors. They're all inside jobs.
Right. Great explanation for us to all understand
Well, I hope
how
so.
that's progressing. Yes, it's good stuff. What more? Oh, I know we were going to talk a little bit on specific foods. People keep wanting to know specific foods and the order of detox, like liver, kidney, colon, you know. I don't know that we can necessarily hit on that particularly because we're just focused on overall getting stuff moving.
Right. I will say this. When it comes to detoxing, and we're like you detox your liver, it's a bunch of filters, but it's all one system.
Right.
The lymphatic system is one system, and the digestive system is one system. They have to work together. Okay, that's the duality again. We come into that. We have the lymphatic system taking care of the toxins in the blood, staying alkaline, feeding and oxygenating each cell. So when we look at it, we have to see one system. So if we detox our liver and it starts to get healthy, it's going to start detoxing everything else.
Right.
We detox our kidneys, it's going to start detoxing everything else because they're handling more volume. And for guys like prostate, do you know that's the easiest cancer to get rid of?
No.
And they hack people up all the time.
Yeah,
and it's failure with the kidneys. What it is, it's low kidney volume. They're congested. So
you know that's Crohn's as well. Crohn's goes right to the kidney.
Yes.
And there's so many things that go right to the kidneys
Yes.
not functioning properly.
Right. Almost
It's
every person on the planet that dies, no matter what they have, dies from kidney failure.
Kidney failure, yeah.
Sure. The kidneys finally shut down.
Right. They couldn't take it anymore.
Right. And it's usually, it can be one, you know, because it is one side. I was talking to a guy yesterday, and I was saying, you know, the body's split in half. He was looking at me kind of weird. And I said, really? I mean, you have two of everything. And you can be sick on one side, and that will actually take your life and be sort of so-so on the other side. And this was a young guy. He said, I had shingles last year, and they were on my left side. And my right side felt fine, but my left side felt terrible. And I said, yeah, and do you know what that was? And he didn't. I said, your kidneys stopped filtering, and the acids are being pushed out through your side. And that's where shingles come from. It's a lymphatic condition. So
it's correlated completely to me because everything's always been on my left side. It's always been the left side of my face freaking out. Everything has been weak on my left side as well. So it can definitely relate.
I don't think I showed you this. Okay, to show you the difference, and that's what I showed him yesterday. It's the first time because I just kind of noticed it the other day. Okay, my hairline right here, okay, this side goes back more than this side. Can you see it?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So if I put my finger here and here,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
you can see the difference, all right? And when I put I don't know if you can see this or not, I'll get up closer. Put my chin down, this side right here is deeper than this side. It's shallow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? That's my right kidney because it's not filtering the same.
Huh.
So it's not moving the toxins up. And the toxins are hitting my hair follicles. And this is, I call it the thyroid bump. So my right side of my thyroid is not working as well as the left side of my thyroid. And both sides are kind of compromised, but this right here, and it's going down. What's really funny is this used to be really big, and it's going down, and this side's getting better faster than this side.
Yeah, because your stronger side is gonna keep up quicker than the weaker. That's just those
are just things you can look for in your face. And most moles are in a meridian line because that's energy. And they grow where the energy spots are. And as your energy gets lifted up and you're doing detox and you're opening up your skin, moles, skin tags, they'll start to go away. What a skin tag is a low-level tumor. And they get bigger because the cells are reproducing, just like with any tumor.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. That's very interesting. Now we're going to be looking all over our bodies at our moles going, okay, what meridian is this?
Right. And the whole thing is, you know, like under your arms, okay? This is something that I really wanted to talk about today too, is I don't know, I might have to see if I can put my chair up on it. Okay, this is better. So when you do some gua sha, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And for people who know what that is, it's working the lymphatic system with like a spoon, but it's a special spoon. It's not like a house spoon. It's not wood. It's not metal. It's usually a horn or something like that. And you use a little coconut oil, right? Okay. And you work your lymphatic system with it. Well, for people that don't have that equipment, and for people that are just starting out, I don't care if you have a spoon. You should start really low level. This is low level. It's called fingers. And what you want to do is come up along your chest and put your fingers right between your ribs. And just work that area. And right underneath here, this area right here in your armpit, this is big time toxic buildup. There's so many lymph nodes under there for men and women. Doesn't matter. We have the same ones, right? You rub that area. You start pulling your fingers between your ribs down here, and it might feel okay the first time, but the next day when you go back, you're gonna feel some unbelievable, maybe, but I know that's what happened to me. Pain, but you have to keep working through it. You can work around this way. You can drag your fingers down across, and you want to keep dragging that area. And what's in there is these are live colonies of critters.
Oh, critters! Awesome.
Yeah,
More worms.
Like
Woo!
yeast, mold, fungus, and things like that. And it's bumpy and lumpy, and these are big time areas for that, because it doesn't really get, like your chest gets, you work in your arms, or this area gets nothing. So it's very tender under there. So don't go crazy. You got to take your time, but just use your fingers and start drawing along your ribs, and you'll move a lot of stuff out of there.
That too is where you can take the dry brush too, Gary. I did grab mine and just wanted to show people, but you could do that. That's what I do with mine as well. You can take it and just work those areas, and works pretty much the same, pretty similar to your hand, I guess.
Here, people probably know, where'd you get that brush?
That one I just got at Walmart, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing fancy.
Yep.
And it's nice and long, and so I can get to the back.
Is it pretty stiff bristles?
It's not real stiff. It's just semi. I don't know if you can see it, but it's not super hard. It's not super soft. It's just kind of a medium, I guess.
Right. Because you don't want to scratch yourself.
No. We don't want to be doing that. And I know when I first started, I was super sensitive, and I know some people out there just can't handle barely anything touching them. So this one worked pretty good, and you don't have to go hard, just enough to get stuff moving.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that is the whole thing, is because it's right under our skin. It's not like it's down in there. It's right under the 7 layers of the skin. Probably is part of the 7 layers, actually.
Although you can dig with gua sha, and if you can take it, then that really can get you the blood coming up to the
absolutely, yes. That's why after I get done with my baths with Epsom salts and stuff, I look for white splotches on my skin, and I'll rub that area, because the blood's not getting to the surface. Well, that skin is congested, and what you're trying to do is get the blood up to feed that area, and to oxygenate those cells and get them back online, and you'll find a huge difference in the skin when you do that.
Yeah, it's kind of like the picture I showed you just the other day from that line of broken blood vessels after I'd gotten out of a soak.
Right.
It was just really weird, this strip of broken blood vessels, and that's, I think, bringing the blood, what you had said was just bringing the blood vessels up to the surface.
Right. It was bringing the blood up to feed it, oxygenate it, take care of some of the inflammation that might have been there, and then moving away. And something inflammation will do over time, if you're not taking care of the inflammation in your body with live liquids and live foods, and you have an area that's inflamed and it's there for a long time, it'll create scar tissue inside you, and then that's really hard to break up.
Yes, it is.
So it's kind of a little fortress that's building around it to contain it.
Yeah, scar tissue is not something you want to go and have them work on.
No.
I've had that done myself, and they basically do a deep version of gua sha, and it's very, very painful.
Yes. But with gua sha, you can work, and you can be on the edge of it, on the edge of the pain, because you're not really going to hurt yourself that much. But you have to make it hurt a little bit, and you get on the edge of that, and you start breaking that up, and it'll start softening up, and eventually it will go away, and it will completely heal itself.
Right.
Because that's what our body does. I get a kick out of, I was growing up, going to the doctor and get this fixed, and he'll heal you up. No doctor has ever healed anything.
Yeah,
They
right?
mask the pain until the body heals itself.
Yep. Let's just push it all down. Let's suppress it all.
Yep.
And that's now what we're working to get out, is all of the things we've been on, all of the medications that we've been on, that I've been on plenty for sleep issues for the past 16 years, along with the depression that they, labeled me, and supposed mood disorder, and, it just kept getting worse and worse, and we're just going to keep adding more and more. Well, now I've had the pleasure of trying to get all of that out, as I'm sure you have. I don't know,
No, I've never taken medication.
Never ever.
No.
Oh, you're a lucky man, Gary.
I don't take medication even. I used to when I went to a dentist, after, but I don't even do that now. They can do whatever they want. I don't need it. I drink juice and it takes care of the inflammation, and that's it. It's gone. I was loaded with inflammation, which makes pain really painful.
Yes. Yes.
But once you get everything reduced and you get rid of that inflammation, especially in your mouth, because that's where mine was, my gums and everything, and by day 5, all the swelling in my gums was gone. Now, I wasn't eating anything. I was doing the master cleanse, and I did 10 days. So by day 5, my gums were completely back to normal.
Nice.
I mean, it's weird. It's weird, not one dentist, I was an adult. Not one dentist ever said, you look like you're a little acidic there.
No.
No, they don't do that. It's like, really? What is wrong with you guys? That's why plaque forms on your teeth. It's calcium. And it's trying to protect your teeth, to keep the acid from burning holes in your teeth.
It's funny you say that, because I used to get that all the time. It was like clockwork. It was all the time. Mm-hmm. I don't get that anymore. I haven't had to worry about that or go into the dentist and say, chop this stuff, get rid of this stuff. And I don't get that buildup anymore. It's awesome.
That's right, because you have an alkalized mouth. Now, you can have an alkalized body and still have an acidic mouth.
Sure.
Okay? This is the gateway to your digestive system. So a lot of the acids that are building up in your stomach are coming up in your mouth. That's why in the morning they go, well, I guess good morning, but I haven't brushed my teeth yet. Well, that whole thing, that's putrefaction from what you've been eating coming back up in a gas and is coming out your mouth. And when you alkalize your body and you take care of your digestive system, that doesn't happen anymore. So getting plaque off your teeth is one of the biggest scams in the whole dental thing.
Yeah.
Swollen gums and bleeding gums and all this stuff, it's all crap. I can't imagine that they don't know that.
Well, we are all dummied down by our water, remember? We were talking about that earlier.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, no, did we already talk about medication? Or?
Just a tad bit. Not a whole lot. I just had mentioned that, I'd been on it for the 16 years. For the most part, sleep meds and the depression meds and whatnot. Yeah, not on anything anymore. Neither are you.
No, I know. I go to the doctor every 25 or 30 years if I'm broken. Literally. If I break something, which I've broken plenty of things. Mm-hmm. Other than that, you can't get me to a doctor.
Yeah. Wow.
And, so in the, the motorcycle riding and the mixed martial arts and all that stuff, I was always injured. I split my sternum one time. I could feel it go whoosh, spread apart. Oh. So I did go to the doctor for that.
That's probably a good thing.
And what they did? They had a strap and they put it around me.
Yeah.
And waited for it to heal. That's what they did.
Yeah. Well, good. That's basically like when my pelvis was pulled out and I had to wear an SI belt to bring it back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it healed.
And then it heals.
Yep.
Yes, it eventually heals.
And that's what's good about emergency rooms. Amazing places because they fix people that are broken. It's kind of like if you're having a heart attack. Okay, speaking of energy and live liquids and minerals and water and stuff, you're having a heart attack, and they come and they know you're having a heart attack. What's the first thing you do? They put in an IV of saline water.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get the paddles out. But they need to rehydrate your body. And they need conductive hydration, which is a saline mixture and water, and then they hit you, and bam, you're off and running again. If they get there in time.
Right. Oh, yes. So I did want to talk and speak with those people who are on meds trying to get off.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've been there multiple times. I've attempted it several times with not much success. But just, I want them to know and understand that it is a slow process. It's just like detox. You don't want to take it fast. You don't want to cut cold turkey. And most doctors are not going to know how to help you taper. I know Natalie from group was amazing help for me. She's helped a ton of people as well. She understands that world. If anybody wants some help, just let me or her know. I'm obviously no doctor on it. I just have been through it, and I know how slow, because I would attempt things faster. I push limits. I push them all the time. And I would do it with that because I want it off badly. But you've got to know you're not healthy now. And so it's even harder on a body that is just as sick as you are. So cutting extremely slowly. Don't do everything at once. Don't try to detox your body off of everything. Don't switch over from this way of eating to another. It's got to just be baby steps. And I think the biggest thing that I can tell people from going through that is, it brings me back to those days, and I remember how hard it was and how, it just mentally, it just messes you up. It really gets in your head, and it plays games with you, and you just have to stick with it and surround yourself with those people that understand you. The people that don't get it, just let them go. They're not helping you. And I know that I needed that the most, was to know I was doing the best that I could. Mm-hmm. And even though I am the hardest on myself, which I know most people out there are as well, they want more. They want more from themselves. They want to see it faster. They want to be healthy right away. Well, it's going to take time, and it's going to take steps, and just keep thinking and understanding that you're doing everything positive that you possibly can. So don't get hard on yourself. You got to give yourself a break. And if there's anything I can tell you the most from going through that, is give yourself a break and a pat on the back that you are doing this, and you're doing what's not the norm for everyone else. They're taking their pills and they're not seeing any problem with it. So, that was a big thing, when people really didn't understand either. Well, why? Why is it such a big deal? Well, they're addictive and they're causing me more harm. So just stick with it. And that's kind of my take on the drugs. And I'm glad that I don't have a pill that's controlling me every day anymore, to when I have to go to sleep, or if I'm going to worry if I'm going to sleep. I can't believe I sleep through nights now. I never thought I would again.
Do you wake up just to make sure you're asleep?
What's that?
Do you wake up just to make sure you're asleep?
Yeah, right. No, I'm just so glad I don't wake up at night anymore. I'm so glad that I can get to sleep, and that I do have dreams. I mean, I didn't dream for like 16 years, Gary. It's just...
That right in itself is not healthy.
No.
You have to dream.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's clinically proven. You have to have dreams, or you will go absolutely, because you get tired and you get disoriented. And I don't know what that power is, but you have to dream.
Right. I mean, I had 3 sleep studies done. And you know how they did it? I took medication. The medication that I was on every day. No, that's seriously. That's what they had me do. And I'm going, what? What is wrong with you people? Yeah. Like, seriously. Yep. And then they would say, well, yep, you don't get into your REM sleep, but yeah, there's nothing else wrong with you. Really? Because that's important. And you have me taking a pill. Yep, of course it's going to alter things. Seriously.
So, why do you think you're sleeping now?
Because my body started to correct itself. My body has started to heal and do what it's meant to do.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't have depression. I don't have a mood disorder. I don't have these things that they kept trying to tell me I was. Because my body is functioning like it's meant to function.
And you never did.
No.
That's the other thing. What you had was an imbalance in your body.
I had sleep deprivation. Yeah, that's going to screw up anybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Everything up in your body because it doesn't know how to recoup or recover.
That's right. You go into that system, and they're going to give you everything they can lay their hands on. Every test, every pill, every liquid, every potion. They don't care. They're just going to throw something at you, and you leave, and it works good. If it doesn't work, well, sorry. I don't know what else I can do for you. They'll put you on some psychs or something like that, And which brings up another thing, and we had talked about this earlier. Most people don't know is, I used to work at a treatment plant, okay? And I was a guy that took the truckload of crap and took it to the dump and dumped it out of the truck. But what's important to know about that is all these people are taking drugs. Like, I don't take anything. I never have. I don't ever plan on taking it. But all the people that are, when they are going to the bathroom, doesn't matter if it's one or two, but one mostly, that is going into the sewer system, going to the treatment plant, being filtered through, but there are no filters to take those drugs out. So when you open up your faucet, those drugs are in you. They're in that water.
It's sick.
And you get to drink that stuff.
Yeah.
It's called purification.
Right, purification.
Yeah. So when I say I don't purposely take drugs. Now, I grew up on a well, so I never had city water my whole life. But now that we're living in the cities and stuff, I can't wait to get back out in the country where I can grow my own herbs, which we grow herbs here, but grow my own herbs and drink water from a well. That's going to be a huge day for me. So I'm really to go out and just stand in the garden and be able to walk over and pick whatever I want and have a greenhouse where I can grow things year round and have them right at my fingertips. And anybody can do it. I mean, you don't have to have a big yard. You can grow herbs in a plant pot. You can have whatever it is that you want. If you've got a windowsill, you can grow herbs. And the more liquids and the more herbs that you're doing, within reason, you don't want to drown yourself, the less you eat heavy, dense, solid food, the more energy you're going to have. And that energy, rather than going out and exercising and burning it all off, you rest, and that energy will heal your body.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
That is that simple.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an excellent point, too. I was going to touch on that exercising point as well with people who, they've gained so much weight, but yet they have thyroid problems, but think, well, I'm just going to go and kill it in the gym, whether I'm going to be puking in the end or not. Well, you can't, because you get to a certain point and your body it's going to choose to help heal your body, or it's going to work on digestion, and it's typically going to heal the body. That's what it's going to go to. So if you're going to try and push and exercise, you're typically going to just keep going up. I know that was how it was with trying to force myself to exercise and wondering why, why I'm busting my butt, why am I not losing weight, why am I going up? Because the body is a mess and it had to go to helping those organs. Any extra energy, it's gonna go to heal. But if you're trying to force it to work out, you're just going backwards. So that's just to those that say, I need to exercise. Well, light, walking, or we talked about rebounding.
Yep, go for a stroll.
Yes, a stroll. But I mean, the point that I've been at, I couldn't do anything, and still at this point, even doing rebounding for me isn't the greatest. I have more issue. I do better if I just sit. If I'm not doing a lot of movement, I notice that the scale starts to go down for me if that's what I'm looking at, which, scale is a scale. It's not the greatest thing for us to measure by, but it also has allowed me to see and kind of regulate, okay, is this helping me or just how I feel? I can get tanked with just a little bit of rebounding. That's just how it is for me. It may not be that way for others. Again, it's our personal thing, but I think with the whole kidney thing too, if they're not filtering well, I know that was brought up as well, the rebounding that was mentioned in a video as well, that it wasn't the greatest thing to do if you've got really bad kidneys.
Well, if your kidneys are bad, your adrenals are too, because they're right on top, about the size of a walnut, right on top of your kidneys.
Yes. Right. So I think the biggest thing for people is, you're not going to know all of this. There's so much, and I know that everybody wants to know everything all at once. We always do. But if I've learned anything in this life, and even from being taught in hair, you fake it until you make it.
Right. And if you're just starting, or if you're having issues, 1 glass of the master cleanse or apple cider vinegar or a green smoothie, whatever you want, for breakfast, with a heaping handful of red or very dark grapes. And do that for a week, 2 weeks. Do it for a month, I don't care. Just do that and learn by watching videos, staying connected with us on Facebook, and as time goes by, you'll start to absorb some of this stuff. And then you can start to implement it. Because you're dealing with brain fog, you're dealing with low energy, you're dealing with inflammation, pain. So, and a nice herbal tea, along with during the day, have an herbal tea. These are anti-inflammatories, and what they'll do is they'll start to reduce the inflammation and the pain in your body. And it'll start to clear up the brain fog. And as you learn and you travel through this journey with us, because we're going through it too, then what will happen is all of a sudden a light bulb will come on and you'll get it. And then you can start sharing your journey with other people as well. But I'm really happy to get off those pills. That was, I can remember that quite well. It was quite a challenge.
Oh, yes, it is a challenge, but it is doable. It is very doable.
Yes, it is. But the passion and the desire to get off of them has to be greater than the addiction of being pulled back into it. And the same thing is true with food. This is I was talking with a friend of mine, Ernest, today, and he said, I'm getting there. Little increments. I seem to be moving forward. Now, he wasn't saying that before, so he's starting to wake up. His body's waking up, his mind, his brain fog is going away, and what's happening is he's recognizing that he's getting better, where before he couldn't see it. That is a powerful move. So I expect by this summer he'll be going full force. And he was having a lot of issues, but I kid you not, his eyes were this big around, and he was so excited today talking. And that's so awesome to see that, because his energy's coming up. He's coming alive again. So, fantastic. Well, we are just about at the end. Anything
Wow.
you'd like to say? Or?
Oh goodness, there's so much I know that we still maybe didn't cover the foods necessarily. I know we were going to talk like whether beets and oranges, those kinds of things are more detoxing quicker. Um,
Beets if you juice them,
yes,
or you
yes,
put them in a smoothie. Any dense food, not not going to detox very well with dense foods.
right.
So, so juicing, it is a good liver cleanser.
Oh yes,
Okay,
yes,
and a quarter of a beet, not whole beet, depending on the size of the beet. But usually beets, when you get them, they're about that big around,
yes.
and you want a quart of that, and just put a quarter in. Cucumbers, a couple of carrots, a couple of sticks of celery. Uh,
So
that's a really good. A little bit of lemon or an apple or a lime, or there's some really good recipes there, and I'll start posting some of those too. Put them in the file.
great. I know chlorella, spirulina. Those are good heavy metal detoxers as well. Um, and then if people are wanting to slow it down, steam a sweet potato. Any steamed veggies are helpful. Hopefully you can do that and you're okay with those. I know bananas have been a question as well. Um,
Bananas are probably the best food in the world for you, but they're not a detox food.
right.
Okay, because they're dense, although they're soft. So if you're trying to build your body and build muscle and build a great immune system, a banana a day, or there's a maca recipe that I have in the files, and I think it's 3 bananas, uh, teaspoon of maca. I don't know. I can't remember all that's in it, but it's
Okay.
on there. So if you look it up, it says how to make the maca drink. You can't put maca in tea. It doesn't like hot things. So cold drinks. Maca is good in cold drinks.
Okay. That one
And
I didn't know. That's a
yes,
good one. But yeah, I think that and ulcers. Did we cover that enough? I don't know. What
I
to
don't think we
avoid.
covered ulcers at all. I think
Okay.
probably because of time we're going to have to do that in the next show.
Okay.
And there was a couple other things I wanted to cover too. We'll have to do this in the next show. About we're trained to focus on the outside of our body, how we look,
Yes.
our
Yes.
hair, how we dress, the right house, the right job, the right car, the right mate, the this, the that, and it's all cultural programming, and we totally ignore our inside. Well, when I don't feel bad, I go to the doctor, and people go into doctors for really strange things that they shouldn't be going to doctors for. So that's where we have to stand up inside ourselves. We are the doctor.
Yes.
We are responsible for our own health. And until we take that responsibility and we learn things that is not being told to us by society, that where there's two halves and that we're a bunch of cells and two major fluids and our food is our life. And I mean, we're the sickest nation in the world, and we spend more on health care than anywhere. That's because it's not health care; it's health management. So
Death
we
care.
we have
Death care is how I see it.
yeah yeah it is it's that's how they can predict when you're going to die. They're poisoning you to death, and they know when it's going to happen. So that's why I'm so proud of the people in the group. They're all taking charge of their own lives. They're exploring. They're experimenting. They're asking questions. They're having great results because of that, and that is the whole thing. And then they're going to be the next teachers,
Yes, they
because that's
are.
what we're looking for. Is we're looking for people to share their stories and help other people, and as they get better and their body gets well and their mind gets clear and they get used to the live liquids and the live foods, and it's not like we really have a protocol. They're just
No.
hydrating their body. They're putting nutrition in it, and you can mix it with the other stuff. You can mix it with cooked foods. To me, that's not a big deal. And as they get better, they start sharing, and as they start sharing, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's going to grow like crazy.
Yeah.
And that is the exciting part, because instead of watching all our friends get sicker and sicker, we're watching them get healthier and healthier by their own hand.
Yes.
That
It is. It's exciting. It is so awesome to see everybody in group that is working at this. You guys are rock stars. It's seriously, I read these and I'm just like brought to tears half the time because it's amazing. And it's so simple. So simple.
Well, that's why it's, to me, that's why it's hard for people to get. It's hard for me to get. Because really, that's all I have to do. It's there has to be more. There has to be more going on here that I'm not understanding, because this is way too simple. Now, here's something for you. They're coming out with 2 more types of cholesterol. So there's going to be 4 instead of 2.
Oh my God.
Okay? So when people get to a point where they start to understand, they double the knowledge so that people don't get it. It's chaotic man is what it is. And it's like, well, I don't know. I don't understand that. I don't get that. And that is the point. They try to keep it to a place with these big machines and this big stuff, and you walk in and you're like, oh my God, these guys must be geniuses. No, they're robots. And they're selling poison.
Yep.
I went to the dentist, this was a while back, and him and I are having a beef right now. He did about 15 x-rays on me in 2 hours.
Ooh.
I'm like, what the hell? I mean, it was the same tooth. It's like you couldn't see it in the first one. And so I've never been back, and they call me all the time. Because in their mind, they're not done. Well, in my mind, they're way more than done. They're not just done, they're out of here. Anybody that would do that to you is slowly killing you, and either they don't know they're doing it, or they're just doing it for the money.
Yeah, or they don't care.
Yeah.
There's so many that just don't care.
And the thing is, I like the guy. He's a good guy. He's just not a good dentist.
There's a difference.
Yeah, it is a huge difference. So those are the choices we have to make. You shouldn't hate your doctor because he doesn't know what he's doing.
No.
He could be a good person. He's got a family. He's got things he has to support. Sure. Why would you go to someone who has to pay insurance in case they screw somebody up? And they're doing it all the time.
Yeah.
1.2 million people die every year just from misdiagnosis and wrong prescriptions.
Jeez.
1.2 million.
That's sick. Absolutely sick.
And everybody laughed the other day at the coffee shop. We were going to buy a Powerball ticket, right? A bunch of us, right? And they said, what are you going to do if we win? I said, we're going to the pub. And I'm going to go free master cleanse for everybody. A round of master cleanse for everybody. And they thought it was a riot. Because they would never do that.
No. And that's why we're here doing this, Gary.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly why we're here doing this.
We better wrap this up. This one's pretty long.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Just wanted to get in really quick this magnesium oil I wanted to touch on. If you guys
yeah, absolutely, yes.
This is a good spray to try. It has helped me when I need some extra magnesium. Not a lot, just a spray. And then this vitamin E oil with skin issues. This has been a really good one. Vitamin E is all natural, so it's nothing chemical or anything. Just wanted to point those 2 things out. And I guess last thing, listen to music. That was one thing that I know that I've missed in my life. I used to dance, and I kind of avoided music because every time I listened to it, it made me sad and made me think about dancing that I couldn't do. But I've listened to it more recently, and I'm like, it makes you happy. It's empowering. Listen to positive stuff. That's what we all need. So just wanted to end with that.
Yeah, when Val and I go to the supermarket and they're playing, because I play rock and roll at the supermarket here, we're dancing.
Yeah.
You know, people look at you weird, but if you're not pushing the boundaries of what people think, then you're going in the wrong direction.
Definitely.
And that's something we have to remember and actually focus on. Is if the average person thinks that you're normal, then you're just doing things way too wrong. You know, you got to be on the edge.
Yeah.
You know, it's like people reading the newspaper. You don't read the newspaper, guy? I don't read the newspaper. What do you mean you don't read the newspaper? No, because you're reading what happened yesterday. What I'm doing today is what you're going to be reading about tomorrow.
Exactly. And that's what matters.
Yes, it is. That's what matters. We're looking ahead, and we're finding ways to feel good and use words that feel good to help other people feel good, and that is it's its own synergy. It's just going to keep growing and growing and growing, and that is awesome. And I'm glad I'm doing that with you.
Me too. I'm so happy we're doing this, and
Yes.
I'm so glad that it's helping people and we're seeing results, because
Yes.
it's all what this is all about. So keep going, guys, and we're here for you. That's why we're doing this. We're not getting paid to do this. This is our passion. We've been through this. We're living it, and I hate seeing people sick and struggling. So if we can share, I don't care how dirty and raw it is, you'll hear it here, and hopefully it helps.
That's right. How many people in the world, out there in the audience, do you know that showed them their Enema bag?
Or their worms? Yes.
Yes, or the worms. So, how can they contact us to ask questions?
Oh, yes. Our Gmail. So that would be LiveFoodDetox@gmail.com. If you guys have questions or concerns, please email us there. And if you like this video, please like us below and or subscribe.
All right. I will see you later.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye, guys.
One thing that we must be aware of is the hand that's guiding us. Doesn't matter if it's a doctor telling us that it's okay to smoke. If it's a scientist, they're getting paid by the companies that are asking them to do the reports. Doesn't matter if you're a dentist. The influence of Santa Claus. The ugly truth is this: the poisons that they sell and are still selling today are killing millions of people. Please check out our other shows right here on Live Food Detox.